It always takes a second with Twitch. There it is. All right, everybody, we're going to raid the next level TSC. I gave you the shout out. Here we go. We're going to pop over there. Much love. We'll see you on that side of things. /raid next level.
Mm-hmm. It's all the behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
Turn on my lights. There we go.
Here's the raid.
Hit me.
Hit me with it. Hit me with your best shot. Why does Stream Elements say that we've rated twice with 2 different numbers of people? I am so confused about that. Oh, I love our new thing.
You like that?
That's cool. Yeah.
All right. It's all right.
And they can hear us still. So there we go.
Yeah, we can hear. Everybody can hear everybody.
Yep. Oh, for God's sake, dog. Dogs are killing me right now. All right, I'm going to go solve the barking problem real fast. Give me 2 seconds. Then we'll be ready to go.
2 seconds. Bam, 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 bing, 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 bada bing, bing. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My God, you guys. My God, it's been so long. It's so long. I don't even know what to do. DJ's getting his dogs.
All right, I'm back. Let's do this.
He's back.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
You good?
Got my Detroit hoodie on. My MeUndies Pride shirt on. Oh, and a glass of wine.
Perfect. I am drinking a very beautiful glass of rum.
Excellent. Not shocking to me at all.
Yep. Are we ready to do this?
I'm ready to do this. It's been a while.
Let's do this then.
It's been a while. New transition.
Since last year.
Is this it?
All right. I believe this is it. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back. I put a fuzzy end on mine.
Did you? Oh, you put a little.
Yeah, I got rid of the little circular whiffity thing because I'm very, and now it's still there apparently, but who knows? Yeah. Hi. Welcome to the Screaming at the Next Level. This is the Next Level podcast brought to you by Next Level TSC, along with our sponsors at Blue Microphone and AverMedia. We'd love to say hello and welcome. Tonight's show is brought to you by the number 18 assigned plus rated M for mature. Some of the content or languages presented here may not be appropriate for all members of your household. If you're over the age of 18, please be a responsible viewer and use headphones. If you're under the age of 18, be a responsible viewer. Ask mom, dad, guardian, parent, uncle, whoever it is that looks after you and feeds you and forces you to take a shower in the evenings or mornings, depending on your schedule, if it's okay that you continue to watch this program. My name is DJBluePDX, and with me, of course, is Twitch and Facebook gaming partner, CupofRobots.
It's me. Hello. You can just drop the Facebook thing. Actually, I missed you.
Oh,
I missed you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of
lots
stuff
of stuff.
Happened.
So, in the midst of our lots of stuff, we've kind of changed some things, and it's been interesting. We now have a schedule of content topics that we're looking to go. I'm looking for the whole thing. Where'd it go?
Well, we're talking about how to just own 2021. Make it your.
Yes. Now, part of that. Oh God, am I allowed to make any terribly, ridiculously, and absurd and unsensitive jokes?
I mean, that's the only kind I like. Have you?
All right.
Do you follow me on Twitter?
Well, that's a whole different conversation, sir. So things with the different ways we can kick 2021 in the ass. And I feel like some of those things involve proper punctuation. And by punctuation, I mean knowing that at the beginning of a sentence starts with a capital letter. Now, when I say a capital letter, what I don't mean is climbing a ladder into the Capitol. There we go. I win.
Thank you so much for coming by, guys. This has been Streaming at the Next Level. I've been CupofRobots.
And I went there. There we go. We got it all out of the way up front. I took care of it. It's okay.
And by the way, those guys, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, crazy people doing stupid things, wearing horn helmets, and this guy's a vegan? Really?
He's on a hunger strike because they're not serving him.
I want a vegan organic food because I am trying to create an insurrection, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dude. You're clearly not that much of a peace-loving vegan if you are trying to storm the Capitol and take people hostage. I feel like that is the opposite. If you're overthrowing a government, that is definitely not the vegan-esque kind of, hey, let's find peace on Earth and figure out a way to live with a minimal footprint on the planet. That is the opposite of that. But congratulations on jumping into somebody else's way of life and trying to hijack it as a form of getting attention. You're welcome.
My sister is a vegan, and she's only tried to overthrow anything once.
Right?
Twice, maybe.
3 times a lady.
3 times a lady. Oh, before I forget.
Yeah.
Plant Lamp is in the Twitch chat right now. And
yeah,
Plant Lamp is going to be turning our beautiful faces into beautiful audio. We're going to be a podcast.
Nice.
So
I love it.
If you get your Microsoft Zune and you search for Screaming at the Next Level, I'm sure you'll find us.
Yes, because all the things on Zune worked so much. My brightness is a little low.
I can change that. You look good in Discord. It's something in
I know. I don't know what it is.
Mine looks all blown out too because I'm using my Discord video. Well, I fixed that.
So while you're doing that, let's talk about things that I think what really the thing we're going to look at doing is why are they banging around upstairs? How do we motivate ourselves to be different in 2021? Obviously, 2020 was a unique opportunity for us as a society, as streamers, as content creators, as gamers, to look at the world and realize there are some things out of control that we just can't necessarily fix. There are other things that we can try and fix. And for everything else, we basically take a hammer or at least a very large rubber mallet that's been, got some screws buried into it, and you basically beat the shit out of it. In fact, I feel like most of the time, that's what our options were in 2020 was you can't do anything, but you can try and beat the shit out of it. And then at that point, yeah, I'm just enjoying the beeping. The double beep feels like it just makes it that much more severe. So 2021 rolls in. Clearly, they were not done. It was like, can someone somewhere said, can I have it encore? And I don't feel like that's a necessary thing that we needed to have gone into. And yet somehow we did. So let me go ahead and just give you all some ideas and options for opportunities of how to be better people. For starters, if there are things that you can do or that you feel that you can support in non-financially compensatory ways, guess what? Those are great things. Share tweets, respond to people, have a great conversation with people, whether it's social media, whether you are doing so in chats, whether you're finding a new way to get along with people in a manner that is cohesive with the way the world should be, not necessarily the way the world is. Great. Try those. I would highly recommend that if you want to get into an argument with people on social media, probably take it to DMs. And here's why. Because the things that you say can attract other people who are not necessarily going to be as kind, who may end up being smart-assish, or may actually just clock you because their wit's on level 9,000 and yours is on 3. So when these things happen, it is important for us all to remember that the internet never forgets. If our current political climate is any representation, the internet never forgets. There's a reason why I say this, because whether you're part of a community, leading a community, a new member in a community, or just somebody looking to try and start a new venture, streamers, video editors, etc. There's always a place for people who've got a desire or a passion for something in that region in this industry. But when you're looking to do these things, making sure that you are cooperating and or coordinating with the right people at the right times is always important. Tearing into a stupid person that's not going to necessarily understand the thought process or concept that you're trying to get across because they're trolling may be a waste of time. It may also make you look like the asshole and them look like the victim. So for 2021, I would say the biggest thing that we could do for starters is to engage each other with compassion, compelling arguments, conversational etiquette. And what's that other one? Oh, yeah. A healthy volume of loudmouth snark. Did you think I was actually going to keep this straight up? That's not going to happen. I'm going to keep this straight up.
No, that's on the rocks, actually.
So you're saying it's a rocky start. Okay, okay, I see where you're going.
I think we're killing it right now. I think this is the best show we've ever had. We have the new setup. I thought he was attacking me, actually. I feel seen.
Who?
I don't know. The
Plant Lab's like, what? No, that's mostly just me referring to the people in the Halo community, but also, you know, this is advice that I need to give myself on a regular basis.
No, yeah, I mean, I could obviously, I mean, if you, my recent trauma, I could take the same advice, or could I?
Wait, what? To what are you referring? Do tell.
I can't talk about it. I can, but I don't want to.
Do you want to use? Does that not look like Tanzi? No, Tanzi actually blends. Like that is somebody just basically took a stick of rouge and struck it down her cheek and was like, "Hey, bitch, I'm in drag." Like, no, that's the image of somebody who doesn't know how to properly blend their cosmetics.
How? Yeah, I didn't see who they used for PogChamp today.
But honestly, whoever it is definitely abused the rouge.
I do like that they're doing that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Every day.
I fastest way for somebody to kill their career was what that guy did, and he just destroyed his entire career.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of what happened to the PogChamp emote from yesterday. Those people are just fucking miserable.
That's also fucking terrifying. But okay, do you want to dig into that real quick? Because I feel like that's also part of something we can use to really help with the right motivation and the right directions for 2021.
Sure.
So for those who don't know, Cup, explain what happened yesterday.
So the PogChamp emote has been replaced on Twitch, for everybody that doesn't know, and rather than replacing it permanently, they're just taking Pog emotes from the community. Every 24 hours, it's a new one. If you type in PogChamp in chat, you'll get the new emote. Yesterday, oh my god, I feel horrible because I don't remember his name. I should have looked this up before. I was talking about him earlier today. A gentleman who was a person of color was used for the PogChamp emote. And of course, when that happens, Twitch pushes it out to every person on their social media and everything. It's a big deal. Rather than celebrating this person was attacked. And his stream was horrible, even with auto mod at tier 4.
It was Critical Bard.
It was
Critical Bard.
It was horrible. Like, this person was so slandered and attacked, and on what should have been a great day for them, it turned into a bunch of shit because people are monsters.
Well, no. Yes. And I would go so far as to say that here. Well, this is going to all rotate back. So follow me on this circle. Critical Bard as a streamer is a Twitch partner and a well-respected member of the community. He is a well-established streamer who happens to be a person of color. And now granted, this conversation is being had between two white guys who are basically a neck tattoo away from looking like racists. Aside from the fact that I'm gay and he's wearing a rainbow shirt. So I feel like we've already wrecked all of those stereotypes.
Am
but
I
I'm just going,
you?
yeah. Like, yes, you are. There we go. Basically, we're white guy 1 and white guy 2. No, we're not related. But I think yesterday, I've just ruined my entire purpose now.
I'm so sorry.
I think it's important that as we're looking at this, yesterday an incredible opportunity came up for recognition of a streamer who happens to be a person of color, and especially given all of the events of 2020, finding that consistency when it comes to representing equality across the board. You know, so it was interesting because the George Floyd event happened, like that whole protest and that whole equality movement and this necessity for police reform and how the authorities are looking at different communities and the blatant spot-on representation of white privilege by everybody who did not get involved was necessary, but it happened right during Gay Pride. And I got the interesting response from some people saying, "Hey, listen, we're sorry we haven't really gotten on top of the Pride thing. We're really focusing on on these protests and what happened with George Floyd." And I said, "Look, we can't even begin to focus on the gay straight thing if we can't even manage to get back to, hey, stop being racist assholes. That's a basic. Like, we did this in the 60s and solved the problem, or so we thought." Or so we thought. And the issue came down to the fact that it's intolerance. It is intolerance, and I would say ignorance-based hatred that is systemically fed into children through families. Because you're not born being racist. You learn this attribute from parents. You learn this attribute from people who teach you, hey, this is an okay way to feel, and this is the way you should feel about these people over here. You put a bunch of kids who've never had any kind of an influence of that nature in a playground, guess what they're going to do? They're going to play together. That's what kids do. They don't care. Until one of them says, Santa's not real. And then you realize who the book reading parents are. And you're like, all right, can you not teach your kid that Santa's not real for right now? For fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's bad time.
Also, how was church on Sunday? Not trying to be a bitch or anything, but fuck. Here we go. Now, right? Now.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Now, that being said,
that was 20.
That being said, intolerance and hatred and ignorance go hand in hand. These are things that are terrifying. But when you look at what happened, we watched as so many members of our communities banded together and weeded out those who weren't necessarily up to snuff and weren't necessarily on par with the direction that we wanted to go as community leaders, as streamers, as representatives of our streaming community. We watched as this happened, and we watched people fall out. Some people's truth came out, and it was not pretty. And we've managed to deal with this and address it in certain cases, in certain situations, and it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable conversation to realize, hey, I was a fan of you until you became an asshole, and I realized, oh my God, you're a narcissistic, redneck, racist fuck. Congratulations, I'm unfollowing, unsubscribing, and also, yeah, I fucked your brother. So, I'm kidding about that one. I was just paraphrasing. But the point is, getting back to the point, we can approach 2021 hopefully learning a few things that we managed to go through, traumas that we have managed to experience, and uncomfortable truths that we've managed to unsettle and unearth in 2020. And I think rolling into 2021, if we can manage to go into this finding new and unique ways to support one another and show that we are advocates for equality, advocates for tolerance, and advocates for safe speech. And I don't say that to replace free speech, because people have taken free speech and they put it in a different direction that it shouldn't go. Safe speech, where we are safe to talk and have conversations about things that maybe we have differences of opinions on, but not necessarily agree upon. It's okay to disagree. What it's not okay to do is to push hateful rhetoric in a direction of any one specific group of people. Now, I say that knowing that my knee-jerk reaction is, those fuckers who tried to take over the Capitol, I fucking hate those guys. I don't hate them. I am sad for them because they have been misled in a direction that is really unhealthy. I am afraid because so often the vocal minority is what represents the supposed majority, when the fact of the matter is, how many people were at that Capitol? 1,000?
The people who stormed
how many
it, it was
fucking
like,
people are in this country?
Right.
A lot more. The vocal minority is what's most representative on Twitter when it comes to Halo, and they're vicious. Do they represent the majority of the Halo base? No. You look at the total number of people who play Halo, we vastly outnumber those fuckfaces. I know, and I'm over here realizing Plant Lamp's like marking off spots on the time card. How many times is this kid gonna fucking swear in the show? And I'm sorry, right? I'll work on that, Plant. I'm sorry, but the point is, as you're pushing through all of this, take a step back and realize that at the end of the day, we are gamers, we're streamers, we're community members, we're mods, and we are fans of not only each other, but various different communities that ride a very wide and diverse swath of origins. And I want 2021 to be that opportunity where you stop and you take a look and you go, okay, how do I benefit this community with my presence? How is it that I can support the people who are being underrepresented? How do we come to these people's defenses? You become involved, you become engaged. You stand up when other people are silent. You don't have to be a mod to stand up and chat and say, hey, that's not cool to say, you're a dick. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. When you call people out for being wrong, it shows strength in the vocal, quote unquote, minority, because the fact is this vocal minority is actually the majority of people, most of which don't want to say something because they don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes. But the fact is, if you've got one aggressor in a chat, it takes one person to come at them and the entire rest of the people jump on board. You all saw it when somebody rolled into my chat during a DJ set and was an asshole to me, and my mods rolled in like gangsters. Like, oh, I heard there's a party who wants to get banned, let's fucking go!
Excellent.
That's true to life. And I think that for me, for 2021, if we can start looking at these situations, and had there been a better support structure there for Critical Bard, the response wouldn't have been so negative. These people would have realized you're fucking with the wrong community. You're fucking with Twitch streamers, and we are a family. And I say that knowing that this is not the same community as Mixer, but it's got the core of what was Mixer here.
Yeah, and
So
there's just, I mean, there is that core. There's just the outskirts are bigger, you know.
Yeah, really. Yeah, there's some Kansas and Kentucky in here, and it's like, wow.
It is, and I think that's compounded with systemic racism, the problems that do exist, and what happened with what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Add on top of that, you have the anonymity
Yeah, that's the word.
of the internet and the troll culture of Twitch.
Yep.
So there's some people in there that was probably their first time ever doing shit like that, but they're like, this is what we're doing, and it doesn't make it okay that it was their first time doing it. It's just, I feel like people are more likely to jump on that kind of rhetoric because nobody knows their real name, you know.
Well, and that's quickly becoming a thing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Not yeah, like sorry, let me complete that thought because half of it was in my head. That anonymity is being quickly stripped away by the activism of other people. And I think that there's a fine line between witch hunt and activism.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're... How do I put this without... I don't want to get in trouble, but at the same time, I want to put this correctly. If your actions to support the referendum of possibilities for equality are not in line with degradation, hostility, aggression, or intimidation, that is activism. But if you are using those other tools to suppress or oppress, as opposed to elevate, then that's where you cross the line into the dark territory. That is the evil side of what it and there's a balance, and you've got to find, not you, it's we as a society, as a community, as community leaders, we need to find that balance so that we're not tipping the scale in one way or the other, because I believe that there is a necessity for people to voice their opinion and to have an opinion, but also to engage in a functionally comprehensive conversation that isn't going to result in people saying fuck you and pulling out a gun.
Yes, correct. I agree.
Your face is very large now.
I know, I'm fixing it.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at you through my glass so it's smaller. There we go. But oh yeah, Daku. And so different ways to approach how 2021 can be good and be functional for people. I think it's looking at what you're doing, not your intentions. That's not what I'm saying. And this is where it gets really crazy. And anybody who thinks that being a streamer and a community leader and a community organizer in any shape or form, especially as a community manager for a game, there is a balance between what we do and how we do it. We can't necessarily always say what we feel, because it isn't necessarily going to help the narrative or shed the best light on situations. Sometimes silence is better. But it's because and that sounds chicken shit. I'm gonna back up. Give me a second to rethink that, because I have a point of, I just need to figure out how to best say it. Cup?
Yeah. 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 So let me vamp for a little bit.
Okay, let me say this then. What you say and do has a relevant effect on the world around you. Cause and effect. Give and take. It is, everything's involved. For example, if I say something on Twitter that is inflammatory or ignites any type of controversy, that can negatively affect Cup, because Cup and I co-host a show together. Okay, it could affect the sponsors of the show. It could affect the people I work with at Astro. It could affect our friends and family over at, the Respawn All-Stars. So when I say things, it's important for me to think about how I say them and why I'm saying them, and then figure out the best way to deliver that in a way that is going to have the least negative impact on the parties involved and on those parties that I affect. Why? Because it's called proper PR and marketing. And as individuals, if we managed how we react and interact with people on a daily basis via social media and elsewhere, chats or otherwise, with that same mindset, it doesn't mean that our point is less impactful. It means that our point has a more strategically focused impact point that we can then jump off of, because there is less likely of a chance, if the statement or thought is formed correctly, that it can never be used against you or the people you affiliate with, because you want to make sure that it is concise, considerate, but impactful. And I say that knowing that that's a lot of buzzwords that sound crazy. I shouldn't use the word crazy. That sound bizarre. But you have to balance what you're saying and how you say it so that it doesn't negatively affect the people that it's not intended to. For example, my use of the word crazy. For me, it was stated without the negative intention of negatively impacting or inferring anything towards anyone within the mental health community or someone who may suffer from any type of mental health issues. One of my biggest things I've been want to work on in 2021 is not using the word crazy. Does it mean that I intended to hurt anybody's feelings? Yes, I didn't intend to hurt anybody's feelings. Is it possible that it may have negatively impacted somebody who may be suffering from mental health issues now, currently? Yes. Is that my intention? No. Could I have said it differently so that we avoided that piece of the conversation altogether? Yes. So let that be a good example. I know I'm probably overthinking everything, but I don't have a hair to do, so what can
I don't think you're overthinking things, but I do think you get to a point where you're so worried about offending somebody that it can be bad.
Yes.
In the Twitcherverse, I think the most recent example of that was the decision to take blind playthrough out of the tags.
What?
They stated that they were going to take blind playthrough out of the tags because it was offensive to blind people.
What?
Yeah. And I think that's where you go over the line a little bit. In fact, blind people said it was ridiculous. So it's still there.
Okay, good.
But it's like you get to that point where you have to, somebody will always be offended. And
no matter what. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And the people who know you, know what you mean. And when you're in a public space, of course you have to watch what you're saying and everything, but like if you were to say Insolo is crazy, it's crazy fun, that you're not saying this game should call a support number. You know, it's not how you mean it. I mean, you can't just, people like people, you have to just, at some point, the consumers of people's content have to take responsibility for their reactions to said content as well. It can't just be on the content creators to constantly make sure they're not offending every single person and every single time and being a brand for everybody. We can't just all try to be Jay Leno.
Given where his career has gone, I would say none of us should try and be Jay Leno.
But you know what I mean? For the kids,
that's
kids
a lot
ask
of
your
chin
parents.
implants, bud.
Kids ask your parents. Jay Leno was universally liked, and he was universally jeered for striving so hard to be universally liked. The man never said an offensive thing in his entire career, and he still hasn't. And it's on purpose.
Yep. Arsenio Hall is another example of that. And now I've dated myself.
Woo, 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 woo. Okay.
Yep. Arsenio Hall was an essential piece of late night television back in the day.
It's how Bill Clinton got elected.
Well, and he was, when it came to late night shows, he set a new bar when it came to the African American community, when it came to the Black community as a host, and he reached such a diverse audience that it really set a different tone for late night TV.
Yep.
In a way that hasn't, in my opinion, been done since, really, for late night.
No.
Arsenio was unique. You look at late night TV. Okay, I'm going to bring this up, and it's going to be honest. Now, okay, and this is where you're going to get into a weird different side of the conversation. When you look at late night TV, of all the late night hosts, how many minorities do we have? And I'm going to go ahead and spread this outside of the racial comb, okay? How many black hosts are there? How many Hispanic hosts are there? How many Asian hosts are there? How many gay hosts are there? How many white hosts?
Literally the only
are there?
Thing I can think about, or as I can come up with, was George Lopez's late night show, but it was on TBS. It wasn't even on a flagship channel. I mean, TBS is more of a flagship now, but when George Lopez has a show, that was like, yeah, you can go over there, I guess. You know, it was.
Yep. And right, and Purge is all like, wait, 2 white bald guys? I'm out. Now, the only person who I would say qualifies this, but it's not a late night show, although it is a consistent show, and I absolutely love him to death, is Trevor Noah. Yeah. But that is Comedy Central. Yeah. And there we go. Now, is that to say that there are people who aren't qualified, who are qualified and not getting representation or an opportunity to entertain the world? No. You know why? Because I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm sure that there might be, but who knows? Who knows? Now, that being said, there's a reason why Trevor Noah gets all the opportunities that he does, because the man's fucking hilarious.
Have you
hilarious?
Have you? So, Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Have you seen this on Netflix?
Love that show.
Trevor Noah is on there, and he talks about his story.
Yeah, it's
the dude.
It is a unique. It is a unique story. Journey.
Yeah, it's amazing. Penguin cosplays here.
Hi. And it's important. It's important to hear these things. Like, imagine, and I know that everybody's okay. And this goes into the God. Okay, so how should I put this? Do we have a second for me to tell a quick story?
Yeah.
So today, and I went into this very slightly on my show in the morning because I didn't really want to get into it. It drives me nuts when it happens. But I had somebody who runs a community and said, "Hey, listen, we are really interested in having you join our stream team of gamers, GAYMERS. We just wanted to make sure that you are."
That's an interesting way to approach that.
That is the essential, that it was a very long paragraph winding through a very candy cane, Candyland version of let me not actually say it without saying it.
Yeah.
And I responded with, gamer is not a word. It is spelled without a Y. Spelled without a Y because why does it matter? For starters. Are you saying that I have questions? Saying that I don't sound gay enough? And that I don't come across as the quintessential homosexual? I'm more offended at the fact that you even fucking had to ask than the fact that you're confused as to why there's an LGBTQIA on my goddamn channel.
Right.
Which I have my own issues with, and I'm bringing this about for this is going to come full circle. The conversation did not go well. I basically said, "Does anybody if anybody in your leadership can match me 1v1 in Griffball, let's go." When I got the response of "What's Griffball?" and they spelled it with 2 F's, I responded with, "Thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best in all your future endeavors."
What was their thing?
Yeah, so
like why?
My issue with this is I see a lot of people who have issues with, hey, we want to see more queer representation in gaming. We want to see more black representation in gaming. We want to see more minority people of color representation in gaming. Great. I don't disagree. I feel like I have an opportunity to say this because while, yeah, 90% of the superheroes that have ever been depicted in comic books or in movies, yeah, they look like me. Most of them have hair. They look like, well, aside from Dr. Manhattan. And of course, he's blue and hunky and always naked. So I'm okay with that. That's not the point. The point being, having representation to somebody who is doing something that you would like to do is important. Being a shoutcaster, being the only gay Halo shoutcaster is probably important to some closeted Halo player. That's like, hey, at some point I'd love to know that I can do that. To all these other areas, probably important that they see someone who looks like them so that they know that their dreams are not completely destroyed or useless. Dreams are there for a reason. There's something that you reach for, something that inspires you to attain something or to achieve something. It's a way for you to measure whether or not the effort you're putting forth towards something that you feel is important and impactful in the future that you want to build for yourself is represented in the accomplishments of the community or the society within which you reside. I am saddened slightly by the fact that when I look at, for example, late night show hosts, they are all straight white men. And then there's Trevor Noah. I will watch Trevor Noah any day of the week. There are some show hosts that I will watch a lot because I appreciate their levity, the diversity with the cast and the crew and their guests and the way that they manage and handle issues represented by minority communities across the board. There are some that avoid the topics because they don't want to deal with the drama. And while I respect that and understand that, especially as a streamer, because oftentimes I just avoid the drama, period, through silence, there's a balancing act that has to be done. So when we look at streamers, especially as we're coming into February, which is Black History Month, when we're coming upon this time and we're realizing that there is an extraordinary imbalance in how we manage the toxicity within the communities that we manage, that we oversee, that we are engaged in. The question becomes, how do we as people who do not tolerate intolerance, and intolerance for intolerance, it's almost a capture there, how do we as leaders, members, mods, viewers, streamers push towards an opportunity for there to be that equalized representation, protection, and celebration of the myriad different of origins and directions that we all would like to go? What did you just do?
I widened the window.
Congratulations, that worked. Said no whatever. And I know that seems like I'm dancing around a circle because I'm trying to not be an asshole about it, but it's an honest question. It's not that now I'm all sorts of off to the left and weird.
We got it. It's happening.
I've got the Kit logo up above me and below me now. It's going back and forth. I feel like Knight Riders on top of me. I know that's, and I apologize for having talked a lot this show. I feel like I haven't given you a chance to say your two, because you're honestly somebody I look to for wisdom on these issues because you've been around this industry longer than I have.
Yeah, but I haven't been doing anything. I've just been hanging out at craft services.
They have a free bar. So I mean,
Why do you think I've been hanging out? No, it's a great. I love to hear you talk about this stuff because you have a perspective that I can't. You know, yeah. I mean, you deal with stuff that I don't, and as much as I can be empathetic, I can never truly know how certain things feel, you know. And I think it's an important conversation to have. And it's mainly because I'm Bizarro you. I mean, I was thinking about this before. Like, I got the facial hair. You don't have the facial hair. You have headphones on. I have earbuds on. You're gay. I'm straight. I mean,
it is Bizarro.
I'm the alternate universe version of you.
If we have a Halloween show, can we please? I'll send you my backgrounds, my loops, my video, and everything. I'll send you my own hoodie and a pair of headphones, and then I'm gonna wear earbuds that day, and we're gonna be, and I'll grow facial hair. You have to shave clean. That's an October show. We're 10 months away. Go ahead.
But no, I think it's great. So I'm glad. I thank you for talking and giving your perspective on these kind of things. Always, I think it's always it's extremely valuable for me and for the people watching. So I think that's a great. We started this show talking about ways to kick 2020's ass, and I think collectively as humanity, these types of things, and like these, you know, tolerance and understanding and openness and realizing that maybe we didn't get it right in the past as much as we thought. I think that's something that 2020 definitely showed us. And there's people in the audience right now that are saying, yeah, no shit, you know, yeah. But I'm sorry, you know, for we're talking about perspectives and things, like, just because it's as empathetic of a person as I am, sometimes it's hard. Like, there's certain things that I obviously don't see outside of myself. I'm like, I'm not racist or bigoted, or I like, even in the slightest amount. It's not how I was raised, just like you said. It was like I wasn't born that way, and luckily I wasn't raised that way because my grandparents were, and they were bad. And I was lucky enough to have parents that were like, you know what, fuck this, we're breaking the cycle.
Yep.
And it's like, I think it's all right, you know. I never, no, that's wrong. I never said I think it's all right for everybody. Nobody's scared to walk outside at night. Or, you know, being pulled over for me is the same way it feels for everybody. But so it's something I can work on too. And I think that should be something that's consistently in the background all the time. Yeah. It's something that we're working on, you know, being conscious of that. And to an extent, if saying something's crazy, maybe offending somebody, you don't want to, you know what? If you were to say that's crazy in an asylum, you should be worried about who you might be offending. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like, read the room, chief. Yeah. You're not
right.
But that's just levity.
Yeah. Yes.
Other things that I want to talk about 2021.
2021.
The sequel.
Yeah. 2020 is a sequel.
Yes. The production value is way better so far.
Right.
Way more action. Bigger set pieces, at least. You have to. I mean, you have to. If you can't, you will go insane. Like,
yeah, you can't. If you can't take it too seriously, people.
You will go down a horrible, miserable way. When it happened, I mean, that happened 25 minutes away from us, and
yeah, I used to live in DuPont Circle.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this, like, looking at everything happening, going, I used to see this every day on my walk to work.
Mm-hmm. And it's, yeah, so it's like my wife and I had an emotional reaction to this happening, and it fucked with us for several days. And actually it still does, but we can't stop watching the news because it's on our local news as well, because we're local. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I think... oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say something now. All right. Sorry, finish your thought, and then I'll go with mine because it's smart ass and bitchy.
I want to hear it first. I was gonna go on the whole thing.
You know, I've said this to somebody else before, and it's the truth. Like, and it bothers me to an extent because it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I've had people I'm friends with many different people. I don't give a fuck about your political affiliations. I give a fuck about whether or not you give a shit about the issues that are relevant. How you manage them or how we come to find the end point, that's a whole different story. We can find and utilize each other's perspectives to create and craft a better answer to the problem. And when you start crossing the aisle from the independents, the Democrats, the Republicans, and you put it all together, you know what? There's bound to be an answer that they can find that is going to have the least negative impact on everybody. If people can stop being assholes about shit, then you have the Trumpers. And I am definitely dividing both of those two people separately right now, because at this point, they are dividing and moving from extremism and republicanism because they are now two different factions steadily, slowly bleeding each other dry, which is unfortunate because I feel like there's a lot of people that need to be equally represented. Now, that being said, I had somebody who was a friend of mine that is in the U.S. military and is a U.S. Marine, who posted some things on a social media platform, and I said, you really need to reconsider putting that there in that way. Why? My opinion's valid. And I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. You have a right to vote as a citizen. As a member of the U.S. military, you serve at the pleasure the Secretary of Defense, and the President of the United States, no matter who sits there. Your opinion about that person's qualification doesn't matter. When you openly support the violent insurrection of the U.S. National Capitol building and the potential harm that could have very easily been brought towards people that have been voted into positions to lead our country. As a member of the U.S. military, let me be the first to say that's something we should report. A. B, I'm not, because right now I need you to understand this is your job to figure out and fix it and to come to your own conclusions before somebody else does it for you. And if you think the U.S. government isn't already monitoring your social media as a member of the U.S. military, especially somebody with your security clearances, I'm going to jump out on a limb here and say they already know. So you need to start checking your shit before you start writing checks with your fucking phone that your ass ain't strong enough to fucking cash in. Number two, the fuck are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, just because I support Trump doesn't mean I support his political views. Bitch, what the fuck do you support? His mixtape? Shut the fuck up!
Big fan of his reality shows.
Are you fucking high? I'm not talking to you. I'm muting you for 30 days. You go fuck yourself.
It's amazing. What do you support then?
Like, what did you think was gonna happen? And when you start comparing it, and then they tried the whole like, oh, BLM destroyed things. No, I actively, and you were there, I actively stated the same shit about the goddamn riots that were happening here. And it's ironic that it came to be found out that, oh, the people who were actually engaged in the active destruction of public and government buildings were not the BLM protesters, it was the anarchists and the fucking Proud Boys. So, when that is the findings of the authorities, you have to start looking at, okay, was the intention to overthrow the government in the city of Portland? No, it was to get somebody to fucking react and go, hey, maybe we should start looking at our police officers a little more diligently and weeding out the ones who have racist tendencies towards minorities, who are not doing their job and who are in fact supporting this type of systemic racism, not only within the force, but within their ability to do their job in our communities. If you're Trying to overthrow a government, well, a whole different story. Oh, there we go. I'm allergic to bullshit. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Worked that one right on in, didn't I? So I honestly wanted to use the mixtape reference because I thought it was fucking hilarious, but also true because god damn it, these fucking people.
Yeah.
And I know because I have friends who are Republicans, and I love them, respect them, and they are advocating against what is happening. They're not happy. Does that mean that the entire Republican Party needs to be lambasted? No, but the people who are actually actively supporting this type of insurrection, of violent rhetoric, and unbelievably inappropriate response to what went down in these elections, guess fucking what? The truth is the truth is the truth because it's the only fucking thing that actually happened. Those are called facts. There's not an alternative fact of, well, but if, and if this, then nope. That's not how that works. The bullshit of the robots. Wow. The army will rise against the bullshit of the robots. First of all, if it's a robot, it doesn't have a digestive system. Let's go ahead and let's roll this out, Mr. Chisovsky, into the reality of the situation. Robots don't have a digestive system, which means wow. It started from... First of all, are you high? I would like to know what exactly it is. First of all, there's an apostrophe in there, and if you're going to spell it, at least watch videos. You've got to go. And here's why. I can't even deal with the level of stupid that is involved in this right now. You can go ahead and try and legitimately justify whatever you want. I don't care. Nobody cares. The election was won. Next 4 years are going to be different. There you go. Censorship with your bald ass. My ass has actually got hair on it. I have not shaved it in a long time because I'm not planning on getting laid. But there you go. What's really funny is is it Mr. or Mrs.? Maybe it's Mrs.
I can't. It
Vechnov.
might be Mrs.
Maybe Mrs. Vechnov. Well, Mrs. Vechnov, here's the fun part. No one gives a shit what you think. It's our show, and that's what we do. Now, you're entitled to your opinion, but at the end of the day, violence of any kind, I don't care whether you are aligned with BLM, whether you're aligned with the anarchists, whether you're aligned with the Proud Boys, the Trump supporters, violence of any kind against private businesses, government buildings, etc., is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It wasn't acceptable at recess in the 8th grade when Billy took your fucking slice of cheese and you punched him in the mouth, or whether it was when somebody cheated off your test and you bashed her with a stapler in the forehead and you got sent out of cheerleading camp. It doesn't matter. It's not acceptable. And your inability to recognize that isn't just fascinating, it's fucking atrocious. Now, go back to your Hills Has Eyes 2 reality in whatever podunk fucking hill you live under behind a nuclear wasteland in Nevada and go back to watching somebody else. I don't know, maybe the guy who created PogChamp, and then go fuck yourself.
I don't have anything. Wait.
Nope.
No, wait. That was the wrong one.
There we go.
I thought I had an applause button. I don't have an applause button.
But that's just the fact of the matter is, I'm going to be real serious about that. It is a nonviolence policy with me across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board. I don't give a shit.
Should be. And then she follows.
And now they follow. All right. Well, ma'am, here's the thing. There shouldn't have been violence this summer. There should have been active civil protests that were peaceful, that were hijacked by people who had not the intention of being peaceful. They had the intention of inciting riot. Those situations got out of hand and resulted in the destruction of millions of dollars of private people's properties and businesses that will never be recovered, and most of which will never recover. It was unacceptable. Do we need police reform? Yes. Do we need racism stamped out? Yes. Do we need to not be actively inciting governmental overthrows by people who are in the minority compared to the majority of us in America? Yes. Let me say it louder for the people in the back of the fucking room, because I want to make sure that I'm very clear on this. Yes. Stop trying to lay blame where it doesn't belong because it is unnecessary. The fact is, conspiracy theories are dumb. That's why they're called conspiracy theories. And it is a sad reality when someone is so lacking in a feeling of importance in their life that they have to cling onto a conspiracy theory so they can feel like they have some sense of importance or relevance in the world. If that is what you want to do with your life, you go right on ahead. When people treat you as though you're bullshit nuts, guess what? That's probably why. It's not based in reality. It's not grounded in fact. And more importantly, none of it has anything to do with finding an ability for us to peacefully coexist with one another and continue on with our lives and ability to live. Period. That's it. If what you're doing and what you're promoting and what you're pushing doesn't actively engage in that specific agenda, then you have no purpose. Period. Take your job at your donut shop and go the fuck to hell.
You can always go talk about it on Parler. It's too soon.
No, not even remotely. Sorry, I apologize for getting way too heated about that. But if you're gonna get stupid, please understand, I am the last person on earth you want to get stupid with. There's a reason why I taught college. So what I can say, hey, I taught college, and I can still tell you to go fuck yourself.
That's right. And I can understand where the word fuck came from.
Mm-hmm.
No, it just drives me nuts. I mean, Mrs. What's her name might be screaming about, hey, tell me how you just censor me as soon as I start talking about stuff you don't want to hear and blah 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 blah. And it's the same stuff about, oh, it's First Amendment, blah 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 blah. And I don't.
Let's go ahead and
let's break down the First Amendment, shall we? Just because
it's a troll account for starters. They got one follower. Mrs. Vechnov has one follower. The Russian name is already a thing. Okay, let me go ahead and look at this schedule here: videos, chats, nothing. You're a one follower person. So there you go.
Account there you created November 4th, 2020.
Gee, that's not ironic, is it?
That's a little warm.
You're a troll account. Get out. You've already been banned.
Well, I just timed him out for 10 minutes. I like to give everybody a second chance. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No. Have a nice one. Bye. I don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. So, and I apologize for taking this all the way around to current events, but also,
I mean, it's what's happening.
It is what's happening. And I think when we come back to the point of the show, which is how do we kick 2021 in the ass and own it? I think that means, again, bringing it back to the current topic at hand, it means taking a stand against hatred, against intolerance, against all the rest of this bullshit, and looking at what we can do to help celebrate the accomplishments of one another, how we can help create a better community to exist within, and how we can continue building beyond this bottom feeder level of hatred and reaching for the stars. And we have all the rest of January to talk about this, how to own
also 2020. True. And I think this is a great place to start because I really feel like it was the most important place to start.
So let's do a thing. For those of you watching, I would love to start a hashtag. Hashtag Screaming at 2021. Let's do that. Screaming at 2021. Okay. Next week, we'll be back on Tuesday, obviously 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/NextLevelTSC. What are some things? I would love to hear your thoughts, except for Miss Vetchnev's. I would love to hear your thoughts, unless Mr. Vetchnov, maybe I should look and see if there's a Mr. Vetchlov coming in here. I would love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear some topics, questions, comments, concerns, feedback. And please understand, both of us are well aware there are plenty of areas of improvement we can make in our own lives, as well as the lives of our, as streamers. But what are some things you'd love for us to talk about next week? Let us know. Hit us up in DMs, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up in our channels.
Yeah. I'm CupofRobots, and this is DJBluePDX. You can see us. See, your name's right under there.
Yep.
We're both on Twitch, like all the time. Also, I can give you a preview of what I want to talk about next week.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about the misconception that you need to be big as a streamer to make big things happen for you. And I want to talk about how. I'm going to show you exactly how I get game keys and how I talk to companies and things that you can do regardless of your status, whether you're a partner, an affiliate, or just getting started or whatever.
Bingo.
How you can do the things that you think you need a bigger audience to do because you don't. That's a great way to start owning 2021 from a content creation point of view. So that's one of the topics I want to cover, or we're going to cover next week.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great idea.
Other than that, it's good to see you.
Yeah, I hope your New Year's was good. I DJ'd my ass off and put blisters on my feet because I was dancing on concrete for 7 hours while spinning. It was fun.
I often have your stream up during your DJ sets in the living room while cooking and things.
You'd be surprised how many people tell me that.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I have a couple places that are like, yeah, there was like 15 of us. Like one group house where they have now self-isolated in their house because they all live there, and everything went down to like now none of them they're all afraid to leave. They're all working from home, and so the weekend shows they've got one channel up and it's all in the living room and it's their dance party, everybody doing their thing.
It's awesome. Well, now you have to charge them like the NFL would for Sunday ticket. Be like, listen, you're over capacity. You should only have 10 people in the house if you're having one Sunday ticket account.
Right?
Oh my God, you know how many royalties? You know how expensive Sunday ticket was for me at my bars? Like I had one bar that had 25 TVs. That was so, and they charge you by capacity of the room.
Yep.
And my capacity was 7,000.
Wow. So you're like, we better fill this shit up or we're fucking losing cash. You people need to drink a lot. Or call your friends. Yeah. Or both.
Oh my God. But yeah, you should look up how they
call
do
your friends, then drink a lot. Unless you're better on the phone afterwards, and then drink more and call later. Here's the Wi-Fi code if you need that.
Yeah. Here's the keys.
Here's the keys. Please stop downloading Game of Thrones. There you go.
You want to get out of here?
I think we're gonna go.
Did we do our first episode back? It's been 3 weeks. I think we nailed it. Really.
I think so too. And I have one. Can I just have one last final thing to say?
Okay.
Oh God, this is towards Mrs. What's Her Nuts.
Do it.
All right, here's the thing. What's really funny? I watched somebody try and yell at, "Hey, it was Antifa that had the Confederate flag and blah blah blah." Antifa will probably respond to Confederate flags the way gays do in church. They'd set themselves on fire. It's the dumbest fucking suggestion ever. It's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's basically like saying, hey, guess what? You can play checkers with chess pieces and not call it checkers. Yeah, it's called chess, you dumb fuck. Fucking Fucking morons.
Oh, and the censorship. Yeah, I just have to say, because his last comment was something about censorship with your bald ass.
Right. Because we resorted to name calling.
It's not it's not censorship, and it's not First Amendment. It's not anything like with Trump getting his Twitter account banned. It's not censorship.
Private fucking
it's a private company being sick of their shit.
Yeah,
that's free speech. Your right to free speech protects you from persecution from the government
shutting you down.
Not a private company.
Yep.
So fuck yourself.
Or a talk show, or a Twitch-based talk show.
Yeah.
Come on! Do you even read? It's all the dictionary. It's free.
No service applies here.
Ask Alexa. What's the definition of censorship? For fuck's sake! But like, avoid the for fuck's sake. Just say what's the censor? What, like, because otherwise she'll get offended. You don't want to hurt her feelings as well.
She won't answer you.
No, she won't. You swear at Alexa. She's like, you can go fuck yourself.
You can go fuck yourself. Oh!
The fuck you say to me, you little shit! Thanks, Ninja. There you go.
I mean, they're still in the. I always forget that that's actually Ninja.
Yeah, I don't know. These people are nuts.
They are nuts.
I'm tired. Yeah. I'm happy that we're moving beyond the era of the angry.
It's gonna take a little bit. It's just we got the tire out of the mud and we need to push.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to push. I need some sand, some rice, some ice, and some wood blocks.
Whoever has a flat shovel.
Right? A very flat shovel. Well, are we going to use that as a weapon or as a tool to get the car out?
It depends on who tries to help.
Also true. We need to say, listen, do you have any weird red and white hats that we should know about?
Yeah.
That's the thing. God damn it. This show is brought to you by Mrs. Vechnov.
Mrs. Vegetable.
Her pierogies. And her pierogies.
Oh, God, I love pierogies so much.
Right? They can be really good.
I grew up eating them.
You know what's... Have you ever had pierogi with like a hot chili sauce on it?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. So amazing. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Good night.